Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody who is in the room. It's good to see each and every one of you all. I appreciate you guys being here. If you can hear me okay and everything looks good on the screen, please give me a thumbs up or radiation emoji in the chat. If you can't, give me a thumbs down or an angry face. I'm going to shout out everybody who is in the building. We got Carlton Way in the house. We got Katsy. Everybody throw some flames in the chat for Katsy with the 10 months of membership support. Definitely appreciate it. We got Brooklyn Queen in the building. Please make sure you guys show Brooklyn Queen some love with the 5 months of membership support. Definitely appreciate it. We got my man Black Free Thinker in the building. We got Farouk Salam. We got Cedric Peoples. We got True Essence. We got Cameron Jones. We got Vovo 2 Love in the house. We got Mama Zeke. All right. And I believe that is it. Hopefully, I did not forget anybody. All right. So we're going to talk about a poll that came out. It's a Gallup poll. Shout out to my man Jay Bird. What's good with it, bro? And there's another Gallup poll that we're going to be talking about depending on how much time I get, either later on today or at some point later on in the week. And you guys are really going to like the topic of that other poll. All right. Shout out to Ricky12. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to my man Jay Bird with the 23 months of membership support. Please make sure you guys show Jay Bird some love. Throw some radiation emoji and some flames in the chat for Jay Bird. Definitely appreciate it, bro. This poll is very interesting, though, because this poll is counterintuitive to every piece of information that we've talked about. Now, Gallup is an official, data gathering research organization. They do polls for many different things. And according to this particular poll, it says Biden and Trump are evenly matched in U.S. favorable ratings. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but we're going to check this out. Now, I want to see how you guys feel about that. How do you all feel about the title? If you guys agree with that title, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with that title, then give me a thumbs down. All right. So now here it says President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are tied in favorability with American people, but each is viewed less well than when the two faced off in 2022. Biden is viewed favorably by 41% of U.S. adults, 8 percentage points below his 49% favorable rating in October of 2022, mirroring the trend in his job approval ratings. His favorability is down more than 15 points from his elevated ratings above 50% in his first year as president. Now, Trump's 42% favorability rating is slightly lower than his 45% reading in October, but 2020, but has improved from his weaker ratings in 2021 and 2022 when he faced intense criticism over his handling of the election outcome, including the quote-unquote January 6th riots. Now, here's my question for you guys. Do you all feel that the mainstream media has any influence over these favorability ratings? If you guys think that it does, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys think that it does not, then give me a thumbs down. I think that the media plays a big part in these, but I also don't think that this is accurate. And the reason why I don't think this is accurate is because who is the Democrat front-runner candidate? Now, Trump is wiping the floor with the Republican candidates. And on the national polls, he's viewed more favorably than Joe Biden. So how is it that they were able to come together with some calculations that show them as quote unquote evenly matched? To me, the math is not mathing. I'd have to see more. I'd have to see more. Shout out to my man Win Loser Rug. What's good with it, bro? So here's a graph right here, and this graph shows favorable ratings of Biden and Trump since the 2020 election. All right. So as you guys can see, Trump is 42, Biden is 41. I think that this research method probably has something to do with these numbers. I actually think that that gap is wider, and I think that Trump is way, way above that. Okay. So now here it says the latest results are from a Gallup poll conducted December 1st through 20th with 1,013 U.S. adults. While these ratings represent the American people's overall feelings about the two frontrunners for the 2024 presidential nominations, they do not necessarily reflect the views of the voters who will go to the poll in November. The same poll measured Americans' overall impressions of Trump's chief rivals for the Republican presidential nomination. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former United Nations Ambassador Nikki Haley, as well as independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Kennedy easily tops the list with a 52% favorable rating, while Haley and DeSantis are each viewed favorably by about a third. However, Haley's net image is the more positive of the two, given her unfavorable rating, 34% to DeSantis's 52%. A larger proportion of Americans have no opinion of Haley than of DeSantis. But the Haley figures preceded the recent controversy over her responses at New Hampshire town hall when she failed to mention slavery as a cause of the U.S. Civil War. So, according to this survey, right? According to this survey, Nikki Haley really damaged her campaign with that epic fail that she had when she was not able to properly articulate slavery's place in Civil War history. Okay. It is unclear how much Kennedy's rating is influenced by his family name as opposed to the people's knowledge of him personally. However, his much bigger hurdle to electability at this point is petitioning onto the ballot as an independent in enough states to be a viable candidate. Now, I want to ask you guys a question here. What do you all think that Kennedy's future in the election will be? Yeah, and I gotta agree. If you guys agree with Katsy, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Katsy says, why bother sitting around listening to people for 2 hours when your vote doesn't count? That's facts. That's big facts. It's unclear how much Kennedy's rating is influenced by his family name. I think that Kennedy's rating is probably 95% influenced by his family name. Aside from being a Kennedy, what else has Robert Kennedy done that's significant and noteworthy that would be resume candy that would stand out? What are some accomplishments that he has? That's my question for you guys. Among Republicans, Trump is viewed best, 79% favorable, 19% unfavorable, followed by DeSantis, 63% favorable and 24% unfavorable. Then Haley, 44% favorable and 24% unfavorable. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Would these numbers right here that they have up here translate to the results that we saw in the Iowa caucus? Okay. Robert Kennedy spoke out against the C-19 jab. Carlton Way says Kennedy will drop out and say, go support Joe Biden. Facts. Yo, what happened to Cornel West? Anybody know what happened to Cornel West? Anybody seen that man? Is he okay? What happened to Cornel West, Joe? Where he at? What's going on with him? Anybody know what's going on with Cornel West? Anybody seen him anywhere? Is he all right? Again, Haley's figures are lower because far more Republicans say they don't know her well enough to express an opinion or haven't heard of her than can't comment on DeSantis. Now, Look what they reveal here. This is the same thing that we talked about yesterday on BLR2. Now, mind you, this right here is coming from a raw data report. Biden's image down most among young and non-white adults. So now my question for you guys is, what do you all think that Biden and the Democrats are going to try to do to try to salvage his numbers and image? Because we all know that black people, right, which is what they're essentially saying when they're saying non-white, at one point in history were the Democrat Party's bread and butter when it came to votes. But as we know, because of the constant betrayals and because of the constant playing and because of the constant disrespect and because of the constant trick bags and because of the constant lift all tides policies, people are no longer rocking with the Democrats anymore. So as they're seeing this trend occur, you have to assume that the Democrats are going to, at some point, attempt to react to it. They're going to try to turn this tide around. So now my question for you all is, what actions do you all think that the Democrats will take to try to turn this tide around? They're going to come with the no voting, no vucking. I think that Charlamagne is the first set of guns that they're going to attempt to use. And they're going to try to use Charlamagne to get a sympathy scare out of people. And I got to agree with Carlton. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton says the Democrats will pull out the Obamas to shame black people into voting. Yeah, I got to agree. If you guys agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with Carlton, give me a thumbs down. Now, before we go any further, right, I want to ask you guys a question real quick. I got to find this guy. Let me see. Hold on real quick. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let me I want to ask you guys this question for just because I'm just curious. How many people know who Mark Robinson is? If you know who Mark Robinson is, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't know who Mark Robinson is, give me a thumbs down. Facts. Shout out to my man KO Kid Fit. Every Democrat need a chance now. Don't be shady now. Every Democrat need a chance. Oh man, everybody need a chance now. Oh man, that's hilarious, man. Biden's image is down most among young and non-white adults. Why? Why, guys? Why is it down? Why is his image down? That's his fault. He did that to himself. They want to keep sitting up here and saying that content like the content that I provide is misinformation. But honestly, people's accurate assessment of Biden's lack of initiative and Biden's disrespect, the clarity that people have in interpreting his actions and interpreting his words, that's what's making people not want to deal with Joe Biden. Not anything that I'm doing or saying, not anything that TD Hip Hop Media is doing or saying, not anything that Tory and Rain is doing or saying. Joe Biden and his incompetence, his broken promises, his lack of charisma, his lack of ability to remain perpendicular to the plane that he's walking on. Those are the things that are making Joe Biden, lose favorability. Yep. If we get time, I'm going to talk about him. I'm going to try. Shout out to Black Women Stand Up. What's good with it? I'm going to try to bust all of these out because I got a lot of y'all might have to be on that replay game. I got a lot of content that I want to try to bust out. So now here says, since he won the presidency, Biden's favorable rating has fallen among nearly all major subgroups of society, but the decline has been particularly pronounced among two: young adults and people of color. Now, when it comes to young adults, well, who cares, right? We're talking about, like, white hipsters, and they change with the weather. When they talk about people of color, that's a dog whistle for black people. My question for you guys, and I need y'all to let me know every single reason in the comment section, is why is Biden's favorability down? Here's an even better question. Going into the election, did Biden have actual favorability? Did Biden have any favorability? I don't think Biden was very popular going into the election. I don't think that he was. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, after receiving similar ratings, near 50% from all age groups in October of 2020, Biden is now viewed, look at this, Biden is now viewed most favorably by older adults and least favorably by those aged 18 through 34. The 18-point decline in his rating from young adults is double what he has suffered among middle-aged adults, while he has hardly lost any ground with older adults. Now, why the change in these age demographics? Why are old people still supporting Joe Biden? You think old people support Joe Biden possibly because they relate to him? They say, you know what? This guy probably puts on arthritis cream and he might wear Depends, and we do too, and you know, us AARP members, we got to support each other. You think that there's some kind of dynamic like that going on? So now here it says, while it's not possible to look at this trend among Black or Hispanic adults separately because of low sample sizes. Now, again, why is there low sample sizes? There's not low sample sizes because of lack of Hispanic or Black people to sample from. Why didn't they just ask people? There's low sample sizes because they put parameters on the research method. So it's not because of a lack of ability. Shout out to DeAndre. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to John Guillory. What's good with it? Biden continues to be viewed more favorably by people of color generally than white adults. Now, this is a problem because when they're saying people of color, we don't know who, right? But one thing that we can estimate from the past is that when it comes to Black, right? Black people have been Democrats' most faithful demographic voter base. However, that's changing. But there are other people of color that probably support Biden. And the reason why is because Biden is doing literally everything for them that he outright, flat out refused to do for Black people and told Black people to our faces that he wasn't going to do. Okay. So now my question for everybody is which people of color are viewing Biden favorably? Because if we're looking at this as a strategy map, there needs to be decreases in every demographic of people that view Biden favorably, or any Democrat for that matter. Unless you're a Democrat like Anthony Beale, unless you're a Democrat like Marcel Dixon, unless you're those Democrats, no Democrats should be getting any positive views, at least from over here. Do you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says, however, his rating is far lower today than in 2020 among people of color, down 16 points to 48. Then among white adults, down 4 points to 38%. Okay. So now, again, they have white adults and then they have people of color. And they do this on purpose so you can't get an accurate depiction of what's going on with black people, which is one of the reasons why it's so important for us to get our own data. During this election season, we're going to be reading a lot of boring, raw research reports like this. And we're going to be extracting data and comparing it against the mainstream media. Sound like fun? If that sounds like fun, give me a thumbs up. If that doesn't sound like fun, well, then give me a thumbs down. And also, real quick, shout out to everybody watching. If you guys have not smashed that like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. I appreciate each and every one of you all in here. So far, I believe we have 41 likes. If everybody who's watching right now can take a moment, smash that like button and get us to 60, that would be great. So now here it says Biden has also lost. Look at this. Biden has also lost more support since the 2020 election from supporters of his own party, down 13% to 82%, than among independents, down 9 points to 38. There has been little change among Republicans, given the minimal percentage viewing him favorable to begin with. Now, what it's saying here is while young adults are cool on Biden, they haven't warmed up to Trump. Despite feeling less positively toward Biden, young adult views of Trump are no different than today in October of 2020, with 42% viewing him positively now as they did then. Trump's rating is also back to 44% among middle-aged adults, while it is 7 points lower at 41% among adults aged 55 and older. So now this demographic right here explains Charlamagne's most recent rants. Okay? Shout out to DeAndre for being a like enforcer. I appreciate you, bro. Would you guys agree? This right here, this particular part right here explains everything about what Charlamagne is doing. Charlamagne can make it relatable to have issues with Biden, to trash Biden, but to try to engage in people on the lines of anything is better than Trump. And as much as we can't stand Biden, Biden is anything. That's Charlamagne's game. That sentiment translates directly to the young people trend on Joe Biden. So now when you see Charlamagne talking, when you see what he's doing, you'll be able to see right through his nonsense like the Matrix. Okay? So now here it says, on the other hand, after seeing his support sink to 15% among people of color in 2021, Trump's image among this group has more than rebounded. Now, why is that? I think one of the reasons why it may have rebounded is because now people have really seen a really bad economy. They've seen immigration out of control, and people are thinking back to the Trump presidency. And what's actually happening is the effect that they want the Biden presidency to have, the Trump effect is actually happening. People are like, well, I don't like Trump, but I think it's clear that Trump is a safer, more competent choice for president if I'm going to vote. Other people are making the choice of, I don't rock with either one of these parties. The Democrats are snakes and the Republicans are anti-black. Screw everybody. Shout out to Lala Papa. What's good with it, bro? And I gotta agree. If you guys agree with Carlton, celebrities run the same. These celebrities run the same play every election. Give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. They absolutely do. And now the thing is, though, now what you can see is you can see the psyche, right? You can see the psyche that the celebrities are playing into when we're looking at these raw numbers. Would you guys agree that this demographic right here, this is the focal point of the Charlamagne campaign? Would you guys agree with that? This right here is who Charlamagne is targeting on attempting to secure for the Democrats. So now here it says people of color are now 8 points more likely to view him favorably than they were heading into 2020 elections. 35% today versus 27% then. White adults, however, are less positive towards Trump now. 46% than in 2020, 54%. That's interesting. People of color, aka black people, now see Trump more favorably than they did in 2020. White people see Trump less favorably than they did in 2020. Now, you think Fox is going to talk about that demographic there? That you think they're going to talk about that little statistic? That's interesting. You guys think Fox is going to talk about that? So now here says Trump has also lost ground with college graduates, down 9 points in favorability, and Republicans down 16 points, while seeing little to no change among non-college graduates, independents, or Democrats. Biden and Trump ratings differ by gender, age, race, and religion. The net result of these changes is that Biden and Trump are now viewed favorably by roughly equal percentages of Americans. But Trump has the better image among men, young adults, white adults, non college graduates, and Republicans, while Biden is seen better by women, older adults, quote unquote, people of color, college graduates, and Democrats. Middle aged adults and independents currently have similar views of Biden and Trump, in line with the national averages. Meanwhile, sitting in the political wings, Kennedy enjoys majority level favorable ratings from most subgroups of Americans, including from all major gender, race, and age groups. Despite his despite his Democratic name and long-term party affiliation, he is viewed favorably by the majority of Republicans and independents versus about 4 in 10 Democrats. Now, again, here's my question for you guys. What happened to Cornel West? We still haven't figured out what happened to Cornel West. I know what happened to Cornel West. You know what I'm saying? I know what happened to Cornel. My question, though, is do y'all know what happened to Cornel? Where he at? What happened to him? Where he at? where Cornel West at, y'all? Where'd he go? You know what I'm saying? So now here's the conclusion. Since the 2020 election, Biden's favorability has evolved, initially improving during his first year in office, as usually happens for winning candidates, but then plummeting by 2022, likely reflecting the decline in his job approval rating amid perceived policy failures. Now, what policy failures have happened during the Biden administration? Yeah, I gotta agree with Carlton. Shout out to Sybil. What's good with it, Sybil? Carlton says Dr. West is somewhere getting prepared to tell us vote for brother Biden. Yeah, facts. And I gotta also agree with Two Factor. Two Factor says Cornel West wasn't serious. It was a failed attempt to shuttle folks to the Dems. Facts. And again, I think those were the first line Democrat attacks on Joe Biden. And then once they've gotten people to attack Joe Biden, then bring those people back to Joe Biden after Cornel West drops out of the race. What we could call that is the Bernie Sanders pump fake tactic. You know what I'm saying? The Democrats out here using the Bernie Sanders pump fake tactic. Would you guys agree? That's what that is. They're doing that with RFK to get the white Democrat voters, the white left-leaning voters, and they tried to do it with Cornel West to get the black left-leaning voters. Now they got Charlamagne coming, and they got Charlamagne coming to try to get these young voters that they're scared that they're going to lose. Okay? So now here it says his favorable rating has since remained at the lower level, with his image especially marred among young adults and people of color, a major concern for the Democratic Party since those are two key constituencies it needs to turn out to win. You guys see that? So that means that what we need to do, right, according to this poll, is we still need to keep the pressure on. Shout out to Cedric. Cedric said Mr. West spoke up on reparations back in November. That's the last that I heard of him. I'm not even sure if he's still running or not. So now here it says Trump is not the direct beneficiary of all of Biden's image woes, as his own favorable rating is slightly worse than at the time of the last election. But he has gained enough among people of color to nearly offset his 9-point decline in favorability among white adults. So now what I want people to understand is I want people to see this. This is something that people need to put a very big focus on. Because what could end up happening is, quote unquote, Trump could end up winning the election because of black people. And now here's my thing. What has Trump promised black people? Has Trump promised black people anything? Give it a shot. What do you got to lose? We got a lot to lose. That's not good enough. Playing with some piece of paper that Ice Cube, folded up and dropped onto your desk. That's not saying much either. These votes, support, it should always be transactional with a guaranteed return at all times, or else no deal. If I want to play a game of luck, I'm going to go to Vegas or go to a skilled games room. I'm not going to bet my money on politics. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Two Factor. Two Factor said, BLR, if you jogatize the proclivity and possibility and reality and reorientation of the congregation of brotherhood and love, you see why West has no validity. Facts. While Kennedy has a long way to go to demonstrate his candidacy is viable, he has yet to undergo the scrutiny that comes with that position. That may partly explain why he is currently viewed favorably by half or more adults, including across many subgroups. However, where his positive image to hold and all three candidates wind up on the ballot in November, Kennedy could appeal to that segment of voters who are resistant to Biden but are also not sold on Trump. Okay. So there's that. Biden and Trump evenly matched in U.S. favorable ratings. Now, as far as being evenly matched in U.S. favorable ratings, I think that if we're just looking at quote unquote favorability ratings, that kind of does not give an accurate depiction of electability. I don't think that it gives an accurate I don't think that it gives an accurate estimate of electability at all. I think what can end up happening is that people can look at this and end up thinking that Trump and Biden are quote unquote evenly matched when it comes to where they're polling right now. Electability and polling are two different things. I'm sorry, favorability and polling are two different things. Okay. Shout out to Deneen Grant. Deneen said, "What happened to Marianne Williamson? She probably smoked a strain of sativa that was a little bit too high in THC percentage." That would be my guess. Or she might still be stuck on some magic mushrooms. One of the two. I hear you can buy them depending on where you go. I hear you can get the combo pack with the magic mushrooms and the sativa. So that's probably what Marianne Williams up there doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Kennedy can break up that monopoly between Trump and Biden. Shout out to Lala Papa. I don't think that Kennedy can do it. So now we're gonna get back to this clown. This clown right here. This is the person right here that the world thinks that we're so stupid. We get our political advice from him. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, "I can't understand a word Kennedy says." Now, I'm not going to even say nothing about Kennedy because I don't want to make Carla mad. Oh man, I don't even want to make Carla mad. You know what I'm saying? I can't have Carla mad at me. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they're saying about Charlamagne. And if you guys haven't seen the first two live streams I did about this Charlamagne situation, make sure y'all go over to BLR2 and check them out. Also, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, take a moment and smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell and shared the stream to your social media, please take a moment and do that. Also, make sure that you all check out the Discord. The link is in the comments section. And make sure that you follow me on my backup channels and my social media. It's not so much that Charlamagne the God has beef with the president. We knew this. This is all an act that Charlamagne is doing. Let me ask you guys this. Who is Charlamagne working for? Who's giving Charlamagne paychecks? It's just that he thinks Joe Biden is a lousy messenger and that he lacks the political skills that whatever one thinks about the guy, Donald Trump possesses. Now, mind you, Charlamagne the God is saying all of that, but he's not telling you to put your support behind Trump. Sitting in the second row of his black Escalade as his driver crossed through Manhattan traffic on a late October morning, the co-host of the influential Breakfast Club radio show said Biden and others in his circle spend too much time posturing. Instead of thinking of better ways to play up policy achievements, he argues, Democrats rely too much on depicting former President Trump as a crook. Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention. Charlamagne didn't say Biden does not follow through on commitments for his Black American voter base. So what Biden is saying is that the Democrats need to come up with more viable trick bags to fool people with. That's what Charlamagne is saying. Okay. So now here it says it's almost like Democrats are doing this purity test. America is not pure. the people of America are not pure. He's flawed. He said, I'm not looking for my politicians to be pure. I'm looking for my politicians to be effective. So my question is, if you're looking for your politicians to be effective, first and foremost, why do you support Joe Biden? Second of all, why are you still trying to tell people to vote for Joe Biden? Why are you not exploring every option? That's my question. Biden has faced similarly, though, tough recriminations from other political luminaries. But coming from Charlamagne, it's different. Why? Why is it different? The radio host, 45, claims a loyal audience of 8 million monthly listeners. He is an ascendant, having taken on roles guest hosting The Daily Show, starting up his own podcasting empire with iHeartRadio, and being inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. He's also reaching the very voters Biden is struggling to draw, young and black. So now, again, why are we talking about this? Because this part right here correlates directly with the data that we saw in that research paper. Would you guys agree? It all but admits it in this article that the reason why they have released the Charlamagne is to target and secure the engagement of that particular demographic, young and black. Young, but they didn't list black. They said people of color are the group of people that Biden is losing the most support from the most rapidly. So that research paper tells it all. The research paper gives you the insight as to what the efforts are that are being done to try to get the vote and support of who. That is why it's so important to look at raw data. Now we know why they have taken Charlamagne off his leash. Would you guys agree? It's undeniable. We don't need to guess. We can say this definitively. This is what Charlamagne is doing. This is what Charlamagne's mission is. This is why they have recruited him, to attempt to get as much support from this particular group of voters that Biden has been losing massive amounts of support from. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with that, then give me a thumbs down. And increasingly, Charlamagne's appraisal of the Biden administration has been less sour. While he anguishes at the thought of a 2020 rematch, the radio personality gives Trump's quote unquote props for commanding attention and selling his ideas. Trump relentlessly touted, or in some cases, gave himself outsized credit for policies he enacted as a president. He signed the First Step Act into law, which brought modest reforms to the federal criminal justice system. He pardoned rappers Lil Wayne and Kodak Black. He sent stimulus checks, or what a lot of folk commonly refer to as stimmies, during the first year of the pandemic. Now, again, Charlamagne is stating all of these things as if these are specific black policies that benefited black people exclusively. Trump letting somebody out of jail is not a flex for black people. That doesn't benefit every black person. Every black person's not in jail. Nobody cares that he let Kodak Black out of jail. Kodak Black is an idiot. Who gives a shit what happened to Kodak Black? How many people asked for Trump to release Kodak Black? If you asked for or petitioned for Kodak Black to be released from jail, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you guys did not, then give me a thumbs down. I don't think anybody in here petitioned for Kodak Black to be released from jail. So that's not a favor. It's not a flex. So why Charlamagne is saying that that's something effective that would draw people is beyond me. Criminal justice reform is not black specific policy. Criminal justice reform is criminal justice reform. If you're a black person that's not a criminal, aside from ingrained racism in the police, which in most cases you end up dead. So criminal justice isn't going to help you anyway because it's not bulletproof. My question is, why is criminal justice reform, which hasn't happened anyway, sold as something for black people or something beneficial for black people or something that just helps black people? Shut up, vote for us. Don't expect anything else because we're making incremental changes in how police departments have to report certain pieces of data. Who gives a shit? They're not going to report it anyway. Okay. So now here it says, imagine you felt like you've never gotten anything from the government ever, and you don't know how politics work. You just know you got this check in the mail with Trump's name on it, Charlamagne said. You will feel like he did something. So what Charlamagne is basically saying, right? I want y'all to make sure that y'all understand this. Charlamagne is getting in front of a bunch of white people saying black people feel like they've never gotten anything from the government ever. Black people don't know how politics work. The only thing that black people know is that we got a check in the mail and it had Trump's name on it. And because we're so stupid, that makes us feel like he did something. This is what Charlamagne is telling these interviewers. Okay. So now here it says Biden sent checks too. So again, Charlamagne is posturing that the only thing that black people are interested in is quote unquote checks. We're interested in the check, but all this little bullshit, everybody got these checks. And so this is why the media goes and talks to Charlamagne, because they know that Charlamagne has no home training. His family is pathetic for raising somebody like him and what he's turned out to be, and that he will go in front of them and portray them however they need him to portray us in order for him to act as if he's some type of Negro whisperer. Now, I want you guys to understand, his family put him on the earth for us. So Charlamagne ain't the only guilty party here. You know what I'm saying? Whoever created this large steaming heap of shit is also responsible. Because that's exactly what Charlamagne is. Would you guys agree with me that Charlamagne is a large, triangular, steaming heap of shit with a tooth in it? And who listens to steaming shit with smoke coming from it with a tooth on top of it like a damn cherry? Who listens to that? I know I don't. Me personally, I'd preferably rather not see something like that either. It's not like, seeing some shit like that would make my day better. If it started talking, that probably would really start my bad day off. But that's what happens when Charlamagne opens his mouth. Okay? Charlamagne doesn't consider himself a Democrat or a Republican. That's the same way that some men don't consider themselves men. Some men consider themselves women. You know what I'm saying? So Charlamagne is trans political. He is a Democrat that doesn't identify as a Democrat. Charlamagne is a rainbow trans political individual. Know what I'm saying? Charlamagne is a Democrat that doesn't consider himself a Democrat or a Republican. He's a shill that doesn't consider himself a shill. The same way that there's men that consider themselves women. It's the same thing. I'm sitting here looking at you with a beard, but you keep trying to tell me that you're a woman. I'm sitting here looking at you being a Democrat shill, and you keep trying to tell me that you're not a Democrat. And evidence doesn't matter. So if I go back and show, well, this is what you've said, this is what you've supported, it doesn't matter. And I'm being transphobic by doing this, according to, you know what I'm saying? The logic. Because facts don't matter. So Charlamagne doesn't consider himself a Democrat or Republican. So just so we're all aware, Charlamagne is a self-declared trans political individual. Okay. So Charlamagne the trans says that he is able to call bullshit on empty campaign rhetoric that politicians spew when they decide it's time to engage black audiences to wrangle up votes. Now, that's interesting that Charlamagne says that, right? Because let me ask you guys this question. Who do these politicians use to, as he says, quote unquote, wrangle up votes and engage black audiences? Who do these people use? Charlamagne has allowed the Democrats to use him. Charlamagne is a political prostitute. He's been hoeing himself out to the Democrats for a very long time. Get on that block and work. That's what they told him right now. Get your ass on that block and work. They got Charlamagne doing the smut strut up and down the political streets. And he's happy about it because you know Charlamagne gets down like that. But Charlamagne is out. What we see right now, this is Charlamagne doing the smut strut. So don't get duped. Okay? It's 2024. It's a race between the cowards, the crook and the couch, he said, referring to Biden, Trump, and the option to stay home. Now, the stay home option people and the young black people are the people that the Democrats have paid Charlamagne to attempt to change their mind on. Stay home is code word for no tangibles, no vote. That's what Charlamagne is attacking. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Stay home is no tangibles, no vote. Charlamagne wants to interfere with that. Charlamagne wants to interfere with that, and he wants to bring those people from the couch to the voting booth, and he wants those people to, instead of no tangibles, no vote, he wants them to vote blue no matter who. That's what Charlamagne wants, because he's doing the smut strut. They done pulled him and called him. They got him up. Hey, we need you to work. Go work that block over there. Charlamagne suspects the couch will win. That's because Charlamagne been watching YouTube. Charlamagne's been watching himself get roasted. And Charlamagne's been watching some political commentary. Charlamagne's been watching New Black Media. Charlamagne's been watching independent media. Charlamagne been watching black content creators. Charlamagne knows that his ass is in trouble and his days are numbered. Charlamagne know that he about to be Roland Martin 3.0 because Dr. Rashad Ritchie is already Roland Martin 2.0. Okay? So most of this stuff here, right? We already talked about all this. We talked about all of this stuff here in the first 2 videos that we did talking about Charlamagne on BLR2. Now, here's my question. How many people are subscribed to BLR2? If you're subscribed to BLR2, shout out to my man, Black Lyron. What's good with it? B1. If you subscribe to BLR2, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to BLR2, give me a thumbs down. If you're not subscribed to BLR2, take a moment, go subscribe to BLR2, watch and comment on the 2 videos about Joe Biden and Charlamagne. All right? Because this article only goes further to reiterate stuff that we already talked about in both of those. And with limited time, there's no need for us to waste time talking about that when there's so much other stuff that I would like to go over. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to do now is I want to give shout out to the members. Shout out to Katsy for 10 months of membership support. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure y'all throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat for her. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen 125 with the 5 months of membership support. Definitely appreciate it. Please make sure y'all show her some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat. And shout out to my man Jay Bird for 23 months of membership support. Definitely appreciate it. Please make sure y'all throw some radiation emoji and flames in the chat for Jay Bird. All right. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to all the backup channels. Make sure that you're subscribed to my other social media. Make sure that you're part of the Discord. All right. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the life. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour, got demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city. That's on my knee, that's on Kiwi, that's on mamas. Niggas don't believe me, come and see me. I been dodging all that face. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Flexing for what feature, that's like every other week. Talk behind my back, I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit